रीति नाम परम सुखदाम अहनिर्शान्तरे जप मम मनः।
Recognized. Maybe in the same family there is a younger brother who doesn't even put forth much effort, but that particular boy could just play any instrument or sing any vocal songs without much efforts. And without much efforts, maybe that boy scales all through and goes to the top of popularity. With much lesser effort, one may touch peaks, and with tremendous efforts, one may not see the peaks but remain in the valleys. We know this happens many, many times. And that's the reason many people in this world go through phases of so much frustrations in life, that I have put forth so much effort, yet could not reach to that point which X or Y or Z could reach to without not so much effort. Some people who desires to have money get into something by which they quickly make millions, and they become like stories for others, and they are like dreams for others, and they too keep dreaming and working and putting all the efforts of the world, yet cannot be a millionaire. It happens. If anybody in this birth passionately tries for something to achieve in this birth, but leaves this world, dies without seeing the fulfillment of it, and if that passion, if that wish, if that desire is very strong, that he or she wants to see more levels of excellence of that one particular field of activity, then is all these years of practice might not have given him the success or excellence that he or she dreamed or expected. But when he or she dies, all of these earning, that means all of these efforts that this person has put in order to achieve that particular goal, will not go waste. Yes, he or she did not see the recognition and go through the joy of success, but all these tendencies, all these desiring and related efforts, they get imprinted into the memory of that particular mind, of that particular soul. So when the soul leaves the body dies, but the mind is there with the soul. And the mind carries with it all the impressions that has been imprinted upon it during this one lifespan. What happens is that after the body leaves and there is a small lull period, a space between this particular body and the next transmigration, then what happens? He or she goes through that process in yet another sphere, yet another body, and once that particular soul is ready for yet another reincarnation or yet another rebirth, then this soul will possibly come into such a family where there is only music and music and music. Or that particular field of activity in which this soul was involved in the previous incarnation. And then what happens from the very birth, that particular child listens to that particular thing which it always longed to and grows with music. And then all that was earned in the previous births, they are with you. They come with you in this soul, and in your mind, in your intelligence, they are all there awaiting to manifest. So the prarabdha of that particular boy could manifest in such a way that at a very early age, that boy or that girl can manifest some miraculous power, some incredible power, and we call them prodigies. Child prodigy. What is child prodigy? It has not happened out of the blue. It's not fallen from the sky. In this birth, in this child, the soul is not as old as this baby's or child's body is. The soul is ageless. It comes from such a past and it brings with it all the impressions that it had gone through. So when this soul is born in the child body, and when it is just ready, having gone through so much of similar experience and a deep passion to fulfill that urge, now the soul is ready and it has come, and what happens? It just manifests very early, very quick. Same is the truth of any spiritual endeavor too. You'll find that many people in this world, they put very little efforts, yet achieve very great heights in spiritual attainments. There may be people who are financing in the mountains, the forests, on the banks of rivers, in isolation, going through so much of austere practices, mortifying their physical needs and body, but yet have not found it. Yet, through the spells of tremendous depression in a spiritual sense, that they have not yet seen the God that they so long to see. There are people who would, at times, due to such deep frustration, would go even to commit suicide, because the deepest passion of their life, living and all those austere practices, is only to have the vision of God. And when they cannot see and have the vision of God, they would go to the point of killing themselves. And it so happened in the life of a great saint of this recent past, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. He was like a small child, and he would always cry to the mother, the idol of the mother, Kali. He'll sit at the feet of Mother Kali, and although the worship that he did was to throw flowers and do things for which anybody else and others thought he is crazy, he's mad. But he played like a child with this particular idol of the Divine Mother Kali in front of him, and continuously talked to the mother. And then a time came when he was crying and crying and crying, and at times he would cry so much for the mother that people will think that he is mad. That kind of a thing went on for years. But then he reached a point where he could not tolerate the separation from the mother anymore as a child. That sense of separation became so deep in his heart that he thought, this life is not worth living if I have not seen my own mother. How could I live an orphaned life such a long stretch? And what's the use in this world to be living without seeing the Divine Mother? So in that sense, what we need to see in this is that at the end, a time comes when Sri Ramakrishna reaches out to the sword that is there in the hand of the mother. He takes that sword and he's about to cut his throat, saying, Mother, if you are not ready to give darshan to me, to appear before me, to show